What do you got?
Well, so, I mean, there is actually a funny story that is something that Kristy and I feel comfortable sharing with people now.
All right.
Okay, so.
Now, that's good.
Well, it's, you get humbled by life.
Yeah.
And as a guy, it's easy to get stuck in pride.
Yep.
And, feel like, that's not the way things happen. And it's just not true, So, Kristy and I, which is part of our story, Kristy is 11 years sober. I'm 13 years sober. Mm-hmm. And when we first started dating, Kristy was still actively drinking. And I was about a year and a half sober.
Yeah.
And eventually it led into, we got involved in church and we got, found Jesus Christ at the center of my life. Kristy comes from church. I did not. And, so a lot of these things. But the funny portion, the ironic portion of this whole story is that Kristy brought it up years ago, and it's true. It says that, Josh showed me to sobriety, but I showed him to Jesus. And I know that story isn't as funny, but it's ironical because to me, it sounds like I showed her sobriety. I'm the one that probably did the most work, and it's not, though. It's
she's like, listen, you helped me get sober, but I showed you God.
Yeah.
So. There we go. We're dropping the mic. In case you didn't know, he's like the guy.
Yeah, he's like the man. Right.
That's actually really, really funny. I actually like that as a funny joke because that competition between husbands and wives, it's always there that you don't talk about, but it's really there.
It's there, and I've learned to embrace that over the years.
And I love the fact that you're sitting here and she's like, actually, you miss it. Dude, it's like my wife sitting here with me, right? Yeah. I love that part. I actually love that part about being married because after a while, they're like, did I miss anything? And that's where the appreciation and it comes in. And so, me and my wife talking about it, like going through our car accident and all that, I would forget. Now, mind you, I didn't know I was forgetting, but I was forgetting. And so one day, this is when I knew I had to really listen to my wife. This is a true story. Whew, all right. I'm going to say this out loud. All right. So I'm forgetting a bunch of things all the time. So my wife starts putting sticky notes everywhere, right? So one day it's middle of winter and I'm getting ready to go do ministry and I get in the car and I'm warming the car up. I'm like, man, these seats are freaking hot today, man. I was like, man, what's going on? And I go to hit reverse and as I do, I look down and I didn't have any pants on, right? I was like, oh no, right? So put it in park, go in. I'm like, who forgets their pants? Like, how is that a problem in everyday life, right? And so my wife puts a sticky note on the door, phone, wallet, keys, pants, smiley face. And I was like, only in our relationship do you have to have a sticky note that says, don't forget to wear your pants.
That's great.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's
so funny.
That's a true story. So I can feel you on that one. And he got you first, but you got him back. So technically you won. Right?
So quickly, there's the very first time I ever spoke on stage at Celebrate Recovery. Yeah. I was telling the story about how Jesus tells the guy to pick up his mat. Yeah. He's down by the water and he's in Bethesda. And the whole time I kept saying the invalid instead of the invalid. And I said it the whole time. And God bless everybody's heart. Nobody told me I was saying it wrong, which is beautiful, until a long time after my beautiful wife, probably a year later, was like, yeah, that's it's not an invalid. It's an invalid. Nice. And I'm like, that is so embarrassing.
Yeah. Like
the first time ever on stage.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh dude. Oh dude. The fact that you get up there is like the dub.
For sure. Yeah. It's this, and it was so. I'm so like I remember it now.
Like to this day, you're about to laugh about this, but to this day, I say Simonin, but it's supposed to be Simonin, but in my mind it sounds different, but my mouth is saying it the same way. But I'm saying Simonin and not Simonin, and it's the same, right?
Yeah, it's the same.
But in here, it's not the same. I'm saying Simonin and not Simonin, but I'm saying Simonin, right? Yeah, so.
That's great.
Yeah. Anyways, I needed that break. All right. So that's super funny. Wife gets a win because she brought Jesus.